It's the trial of the century. You may be tired of hearing about it, but it's very important that we do. We're going to discuss the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial today. Hey guys, welcome back to The Well-Rounded Dude. My name is Chris. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel, we cover a whole bunch of topics trying to elevate you to that well-rounded status. Today is no different, except we're going to be covering a trial today, the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard case. There are some important things that you guys should know about it, and we're going to discuss that right now. So, where to even begin in this case? If you guys don't know, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were married about 10 years ago, roughly, give or take. It ended badly. She accused him of domestic assault, and he is now suing her in a defamation of character case for $50 million, which is going on now. Now, originally, I wasn't going to discuss this topic at all. I thought it was just going to be your typical Hollywood, you know, he said, she said, bitter divorce, yada yada. You get the drift. But as this case has unfolded, and I've been glued to my seat, I've been sitting here with popcorn or potato chips or some kind of snack, like watching. I'm like, what? It's crazy. But as I watched it, it occurred to me that this was a little bit more than your standard Hollywood divorce case. This was really something serious and something that we should discuss, that we should cover here on the channel. Like you guys heard at the top, this is the Well-Rounded Dude. I cover men's lifestyle, you know, trying to elevate you to that well-rounded status. You heard that in the beginning. But sometimes it's important to talk about like current affairs and such, and this is one of those times. This case has become, and at least in my opinion, it is very, very important for today's, well, for both genders, for male and female. But for males, this is a very interesting and important case. Now, I know a lot of people feel that they don't care, that it's just two rich people, so they don't care, two Hollywood people that, you know, we'll probably never meet in our lifetimes, and, you know, oh, poor woe is them. But it's really more than that, and there are a few things that we should pay close attention to. Let's look at some of the things that I think are very important. Johnny Depp is a victim of domestic violence. You can listen to the tapes. You can watch some of it's all on YouTube. If you don't believe me, go check out some of the YouTube videos. There are a shit ton of them around, and listen to some of the recordings, some of the testimonies. He was physically assaulted by Amber Heard. A woman did do these things to a man. She punched him. She hit him. The thing about this case that's interesting, though, is that while she does accuse him of the same, and she brings pictures, the validity of those pictures have been called into question, mainly because you can do wonders with makeup. And I'm not saying that specifically happened here, but I'm 99% sure it did. But some of the injuries that she claims that she has with, oh, I got hit in the face, Johnny hit me several times. Take a look at Johnny Depp, guys. Like, Johnny Depp wears like rings, like heavy clunky rings on all of his fingers, or a good portion of them. If he was doing those things to her, if he was hitting her repeatedly, she'd have more than bruises. You know, she'd be bloodied. It wouldn't just be bruises. And the bruises that in the pictures that she took as her evidence is very light bruises. And that's not to say that if you are a victim of domestic violence that you should not document it. I wholeheartedly believe you should. But what she's saying that he did and the pictures that she's providing don't exactly line up. Two, we have evidence. There's evidence out there of her admitting that she hit him. There's one tape where it specifically says that, oh, I hit you. I didn't punch you, but I hit you. It's not okay, guys. It's really not okay for anybody to do that, whether it's male to a female or a female to a male. Nobody should be laying hands on you. But she did, and she admitted it. And on her side, she's saying that Johnny hit her, or that he would have violent outbursts. But the best thing that she could record, remember, she's recorded him vomiting. She's recorded him passed out with ice cream, which nobody falls asleep with their hand in their pocket and ice cream. I'm sorry, but I digress. So she's recording all this stuff so she can get him vomiting, she can get him falling asleep with ice cream, but she can't get a picture or video of him hitting her. One of the worst temper tantrums, for lack of a better word, that he had, that she's got evidence of. He was extremely pissed off, and he smashed some cabinets around. Granted, that's not a great living environment. Nobody wants to be around somebody who was just gonna start slamming cabinets. But this is what they brought into evidence to show that he abused her. That's it. There's also a recording of her mocking him, saying that, what are you gonna do? Tell the jury, tell the judge that I, Johnny Depp, am a victim of domestic violence. Berating him, that he's, of him being a victim, that she was berating him, laughing at him, and he is. I mean, let's be real here. No, neither one of them is a saint. No, neither one of them is not to blame at some point, and that goes for anybody, to be honest. Nobody is perfect. There's definitely questionable behavior on both sides, but it's looking like it's a little worse for her. I mean, she would throw things. She threw a bottle that severed his finger. Her defense is trying to make it out that he did it, but he's right-handed. If you're, and it was the tip of his middle finger that got cut off on his right hand. Nobody's going to do that if with your dominant hand. If you are right-handed, you're not going to cut off your right finger. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. It's really not looking good for her. Now, like I said, Johnny seems to have some kind of issues, some substance abuse issues, which, to be fair, seems to be brought on by her. Like that she made him relapse with his alcoholism. I don't know what else he did beforehand. I mean, there's been a lot of talk of pills and weed and cocaine and all that other stuff. I don't know if he did that on the regular before he met her. But I do know that he had problems with alcohol and he recovered. He was a recovering alcoholic, and then all of a sudden he was back into the booze. Coincidence? Probably not. And not to mention, she defecated on his side of their bed. Let me repeat that. She defecated on his side of the bed. Let me put it in layman's terms. She shit on his side of the bed. That is absolutely appalling. Now, why am I telling you this? If you've watched the news, you probably know all the things I've mentioned. If you haven't watched the news, surprise, look what you missed out on. I'm telling you this because in society, we have a very, how do I want to say this? A very acceptable double standard when it comes to these kind of cases. For instance, I was watching the case live when Johnny Depp testified that she defecated on his side of the bed when he was away. Now, to my knowledge, that was the first time that had been released, I was surprised. I could not believe that somebody would do that. That is very, very, very low to do that to somebody, let alone your spouse, somebody that you supposedly care about. But I hadn't heard it before. And I'm a big follower of celebrities, entertainment news. I find it interesting. It's kind of my thing, pop culture. You guys know. You guys watch this channel. So that night, I watched Entertainment Tonight, and the breaking news, the headline story was A$AP Rocky had gotten arrested for some stupid charge. So no big deal. And then they were like, his pregnant fiance Rihanna, how is she? How is she gonna respond? What's going on? And I just sat there and I'm like, this is the breaking news? Why is this the breaking news? And then it dawned on me. I'm like, because this is the narrative. It's much better. It feeds what people want to hear or want to believe about men. That, oh, this guy got arrested. He's got a pregnant fiance. I forget even what the charge was. It was, but he got arrested and he's in jail or in holding while his pregnant fiance is at home. He's doing the dirt. He's doing bad criminal things, and his pregnant fiance is home. Meanwhile, we have a case where the wife shit in the man's bed, on his side of the bed. And think about that. What is that act telling him? Right? What is she trying to show him by shitting on his side of the bed? I know it's messed up, but think about the logic behind that for a second. But I digress. One thing fits the narrative, which is, guys are bad. Look, he got arrested. He's not thinking of his family, pregnant wife at home or fiance. We got to talk about that. That's the breaking news. But here, Amber Heard shit in somebody's bed, in her husband's side of the bed, and left it there for him to find. But that kind of gets swept under the rug. Now, it's gone on to make news, like on Facebook, and people joke about it, and there's memes, as there should be. Like, there are just some acts that despicable. But it didn't catch on that quickly. They're not really talking about it on mainstream media news. They may mention it occasionally, but they don't dwell on it. We can't dwell on what the woman did, or that the man has been abused. And even now, they still call it into question. It's like, well, I don't know if he had a drink. He was drinking. They're still trying to paint Johnny Depp to a point. There are a lot of outlets that are on his side, but still, there's a lot of outlets that are still trying to pin the blame on him because he has an addiction problem. So what's the takeaway that I want everybody to learn from this, that I want everybody to get? I want everybody to stop giving pretty a pass. Pretty people can do some pretty messed up things. Defecating in beds, lying about giving money to charities. I forgot to mention she did that. Claimed that she was going to give $7 million to 2 charities and has paid 0 as of today. And when you're watching this in a few days from now, it'll still be 0. Just so we're clear. Yeah, I want people to stop giving pretty a pass, because pretty people can do some shitty things and they get away with it just because they're pretty. Amber Heard is a very pretty girl, although you couldn't tell from, her time in court, because, they want to make sure she looks upset. But I digress. If you don't believe me, check out All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. It's a great movie. I think it's still on Netflix. She's in it. It's a good movie. If you like horror movies, check it out. I digress. What else? That not all men are bad. Like I said, we have this double standard in our society where if a guy does one thing wrong, he's demonized or canceled or forgotten about. If the roles were reversed and Johnny had shit on Amber's side of the bed, that would have made headline news. That would have been on CNN. That would have been the headline on Entertainment Tonight instead of ASAP Rocky. But because it was Amber Heard, it wasn't even mentioned. We got to end this double standard. There are just things that it's unfair. And if we're going to start treating cases or seeing more cases like this, I'd like there to be more of an investigation before there are just accusations. Like, as soon as accusations are levied against a person, that's pretty much it in the court of public opinion, especially when it comes to guys. I would like to see that there's a little bit more thought put behind it and a little bit more investigation so we can see what would happen. I mean, look at Johnny. He lost several movie deals. He's no longer going to be in Pirates of the Caribbean, and he was fired from or asked to resign from Fantastic Beasts. He lost two roles. We haven't seen him in anything really since, and I'm hoping that this at least gets him some of his credibility back. I mean, because he has proven some of the things he said. He said from the get-go she did not give the money to the two charities, which she admitted to on the stand, and she has not paid them, even though she said she did. She has not, and that she assaulted him. She threw a bottle at him, and it caused his finger to get severed. She defecated on his side of the bed. I'm never going to get over that. So, if you're waiting for me to get over it, it's probably going to be mentioned a few more times in this video that she shit in his bed. Just several things. Like, it seems a lot like she goaded him into some of his behavior. And that's not to say that's an excuse. But, a husband and wife are supposed to be a team. And if your teammate is setting you up to fail, is trying to sabotage you, that's a recipe for disaster. And that's what I want you guys to know, is that take a good hard look at the relationships you have. They may be pretty, but if they're doing bad things to you, if they're provoking you, it's okay to leave. We got to end this double standard. We got to end this stigma that men are bad, men are dogs. If they show some kind of interest, that they're immediately predators. We have to stop that, because it is not helping anybody. It's letting people like Amber Heard get away with things for so long that when they're held accountable, it surprises them. Or they're like, me? You're gonna hold me accountable? Why would you do that? We can't let that happen anymore. And it's just hurting good people. And also, I have to say, it's not just men that go through this. Women do go through it too. I know it seems like I'm just saying that men are having this issue, but women have it too. I'm not saying that they don't. It's just, it seems like we don't hear about the men enough. Like we'll hear about the women constantly, but men, if they're going through something like this, like what Johnny Depp is going through with a toxic spouse, we just don't hear about it. And it's just sad. So I think that's where we're going to put a pin in this week's video. I know it was kind of long, a little bit rambly, and, talking about this Hollywood case that people may be tired of hearing, but it was very important to get that out there, because these are points that are very important, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you guys, look, if you're in a bad situation, find a way out of it. Don't let whoever is hurting you continue to hurt you. Do not give Pretty a pass. Get out, get help, document your situation. That goes for dudes and dudettes, okay? Do not stay in a situation because you could lose a finger and somebody could shit in your bed. All right. Thank you guys. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the social media things. Help me fight the YouTube algorithm. Ring the bell. Be sure to check out thewellroundeddude.com. Dude15 gets you 15% off your total purchase. And please be sure to check out our podcast, The Well-Rounded Dude Podcast. It's available on the majority of the most popular streaming platforms out there. You can say to your smart device, hey, Alexa, Google, whichever one, play the Well-Rounded Dude Podcast, and it should come up. All right, guys, we will see you next time with a topic that is not such as heavy as somebody shitting in your bed, and I will see you next time. Peace. Take care of yourselves.